Shalom, everyone. I'm not a Jew, but just keeping it nice and fresh. So we're gonna look at Freelee's video regarding raw alignment, and like Freelee has fucking lost the plot. We know this. She's fucking insane. Ever since she's always been insane, to be honest, but ever since she kind of split up with Jurian Ryder, shit has hit the fan with her. She's been quite crazy. So, let's dive into this video. And she's fucking harassing Raw Alignment. Like, she non-stop on her Instagram, on her social media, on YouTube. Just fucking everything she talks about is Elise, and the fact that, she started eating meat again, because imagine that, like, your health is deteriorating, and you're just gonna fucking die because my animals. So let's watch this bullshit. Alright.
I have been consuming more of a ketogenic / carnivore diet.
We're not made to eat dead animals.
She talks about now eating instinctively.
What is up with this shit? Like, with vegans always bringing people's past up. Like, they do this to people who were ex-vegans. They bring up the past. Like, videos are like 4 or 5 years old of them saying shit, like propagandized shit about veganism. How being vegan is good for you and all this shit. Like, I don't know what relevance that has to the person that we're talking about now, because people change.
And intuitively. But somehow, I can't see 4 foot...
Also, another trend with Freelee is that she is really emotional in her arguments. She has no actual studies or research. Like, the shit she just spouts is just straight from her ass. But yeah, let's go on.
10, Elise, instinctively taking down a 6'6" bison for breakfast. Can you?
Well, yeah, like, maybe she doesn't have to take down a bison. She can take down a chicken, or she can eat eggs or drink milk. I don't understand Freelee's logic. Like, you don't need to kill the biggest animal out there to survive.
No, I never crave fast food or non-vegan food because there's so many vegan options.
I'm definitely not a person who lies.
And, like, look who the fuck's talking. Like, Freelee, your diet is so artificial and like, I don't know how to describe it. It's so fake that if you were in the middle of Siberia during winter with your shitty diet, Freelee, you would be dead, because you already look like a skeleton, but you're lucky to be alive because of the way you live right now, where it's humid and warm all the time. But you would be fucking dead in the middle of Siberia, that's for sure.
I can smell the hot sauce.
3, 4. Tips for transitioning from vegetarian to vegan. Watch Earthlings.
The ethical message. You've posted things on Instagram, talking about, meat is murder. You've had even vegan pages.
I don't know if I went that far. I don't know if I went that far.
Yeah, you did go that far, Elise.
It's from 2015. Just leave her alone, you crazy banana bitch.
Okay, so I have an update on this misalignment shit show.
Yeah, it's like you have an update every 5 minutes about her.
Oh. So Elise has been busy deleting old...
Oh, wow, imagine that. Like, she's changed her perspective on something, and the stuff she believed before was false, so she's deleting old videos to not misguide people. Oh, how freaking bad. Who cares?
Videos. But Elise, I thought it was part of your journey. So I'm lucky to actually catch the ones I did that I have featured throughout this video.
I don't want to defend Elise because
Elise
I'm not...
frantically goes into brand damage
I'm
control
not
and
a
makes
fan
a
of her,
confessional video, which is awkwardly moderated by her new animal-hating boyfriend. Her obvious inspiration to start...
Okay, so if you eat meat because you feel better and you feel... Not so much... I shouldn't use feel, but... Let's say your body just runs better on meat, like vegetable, please. I'm gonna have to use layman terms here because Freelee's fucking retarded. Then what's the problem? That doesn't make you a person that hates animals. Like, just because you eat animals, you don't fucking hate animals. You eat animals because you need to sustain yourself. You need to nourish yourself. This is just fucking
hurting
Jesus
animals
Christ.
again. Drew is a
Why am I
confused,
even
unethical guy who
explaining this?
clearly has body dysmorphia. He puts his
Oh yeah, look who's fucking talking, the Botox bitch. Okay, he has body dysmorphia. You look like a fucking skeleton. Where is this shit?
can't use the internet.
Look at her.
Like,
Look at her. Like,
electricity as much. It's a real challenge at the moment.
you're the one who looks anemic.
Because I love how strong I am.
Yeah, okay. Strong. And the whole Botox thing that people have been talking about. Okay, body dysmorphia. Okay. Shut the fuck up.
Definition and bicep size.
Well, she's so toxic. Why does she even... Like, her subscriber count, I don't know, it must be all bots or something, because there's no way she has nearly 800,000 subscribers. Because if you look at her view count over here, she gets about 90,000, 100,000. So she's not... She gets a fair amount of views, but definitely not as much as the amount of subscribers she has.
For the lives of animals. By his own admission, he was actually thriving on a raw till 4 lifestyle for years.
Alright, Freelee, we know that people cannot thrive on a raw till 4 lifestyle. And even vegans themselves have admitted that that diet is a load of shit.
I was chronically fatigued, addicted to caffeine, several coffees a day to just keep my brain going.
Well, obviously, when people transition to raw till 4, it's quite obvious that this Drew Moore guy, he had a standard American diet where he's consuming trans fats and all this shit. Like, it's quite obvious from what he's saying here how he had a lot of coffees and all this shit. And obviously, if you go to a full raw vegan diet, like probably the first month or so, you're gonna feel great because you've cut out all this bad shit. But over time, your body will just start self-cannibalizing itself, and you'll start deteriorating.
Got into it initially.
And we've
for
seen this with all these ex-raw vegans.
health, not for the animals.
Anyways,
which
I don't
later
care about
got
Drew
more
Morg.
into.
I want to skip to the...
Basically, there's not much there. I mean,
I want to skip to the stuff about Elise.
Well, isn't this ironic, Drew? The ingredients in this seasoning are all plants. If you
Oh, yeah, okay. Alright, fuck off, Freelee. Like, you fucking have to put the amount of sugar that, like, I can't explain. You have to put all this sugar into your fucking smoothies. You put in coconut sugar, you put in dates, you put in all this stuff because you're a fucking sugar crack addict. And then you blend it up in order for you to enjoy that shit in the mornings. Fuck off. Like, just because he's putting some pepper, garlic, and salt on his steak, what's that? What kind of argument is this, Freelee? Like,
if you are a carnivore, then why are you...
the amount of vegans who put fucking ketchup and processed sauces and all this stuff all over their fucking veggie burgers is a lot higher than people who like to put some salt on their steaks.
trying to disguise the dead flesh taste and make your meat...
Fucking hell, Jesus Christ. Well, that's... Alright, well, I'm not just gonna bother. Dead flesh taste.
meal taste like plants. Honestly, wait.
Tastes like plants. Are you a retard? Eat some I don't know what the fuck Freelee eats, lettuce leaves or some shit, and eat a steak and tell me if they taste the same.
The fuck up.
Okay, conventional steak, Crimey River.
And I want the lean
Jesus,
physique, man.
what a fake meat eater. He puts salt on his steak. Ugh.
The lean physique, man.
Look,
How dare
I've
you.
become a bit of a roid expert, if you will, after dating a number of these guys in the past. Let's just say I can smell the hot sauce.
Yeah, this is funny because she talks about dating guys in the past who were like vegan guys and shit. And then later in this video, I think we might have skipped over it. She says she tells girls who watch her videos to not date guys who eat meat. Well, yeah, okay, Freelee, that's worked out really well. Just because of someone's diet, you shouldn't date them. I mean, fuck it, all the positive traits and qualities someone might have. If they eat meat, they're the biggest fucking scumbags out there, so don't date them. So I don't know. Look who's talking freely. Like, she was in an abusive relationship with Doreen Ryder. I don't know. And she's giving advice to girls on who to have relationships with. Like Doreen Ryder himself, he's started an ebook on relationships, and he's like, he's fucking moving on to 18-year-old girls like every year.
Warning from a girl who has been there, done that. Roids plus a low-carb diet equals a relationship from hell.
Really? I'm pretty sure Doreen Ryder was on roids and on a high-carb vegan diet. So, yeah, relationship of hell. That's why they're still together, and that's why you, Freelee, are mentally unstable and you've split up with Doreen Ryder.
Good luck with that one.
Good luck with that one. Okay.
You need to read my boy repellent chapter.
No, don't read her shit. Like, if you're a woman for some reason watching my video, don't read this shit, because it's just cancer. Like, this woman is really unstable. If you want advice from women, look at a woman that has a successful marriage or relationship for a long period of time before taking advice. Like, Freelee is fucking batshit insane.
In my new ebook. As I've said before,
yeah,
girls,
okay, just stop shilling for your book.
And is now using her and her platform to achieve wealth and
because you're not trying to do that, Freelee.
Fame for being a gutless animal abuser. So in the video...
Shit, man. Imagine that. Like, imagine eating animals to nourish yourself for nutrients. That makes you an animal abuser. Okay.
Police confesses to lying to raw...
Abuse is different. Abusing an animal is much different to eating an animal for your health.
Vegan Ginger about being vegan when she wasn't.
Yes, I am still vegan. Yes, I am still vegan.
Like, who cares? She said this,
but
like...
She conveniently doesn't mention lying to her audience in the first 2 minutes of...
The reason she lied is because people like you are mentally unstable and harass her non-stop. That's why she lied.
Her I'm not vegan video.
You're a crazy bitch, and you don't leave her alone. This is probably what she was trying to avoid the whole time.
Ever said she was a vegan when she wasn't.
Because I literally have not said ever that I am vegan at a point that I was not vegan. It's been around 2.5.
So that would have put you sometime late December for starting to consume your first animal products. So let's talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, okay, cool. So, yeah.
Hey, I have some advice, Freelee. Instead of fucking launching this autistic harassment campaign against Elise, how about you have a live stream with Elise and you talk to her?
Yeah, as I shared in my
video. And try not to bring your emotions into this.
It's been like 3 months. I shared at the very end of December.
It's a lot more productive than just being a bitch and constantly making these hit pieces on her.
Yeah, it's just been like a couple months since I have been testing the waters and diving into this new diet.
But then later in this video, she says she has been eating animals and their secretions since early September, which is...
And like, Freelee's trying to sit on this moral high horse that this Elise girl is a liar and Freelee is like righteous and she never lies. But like, Freelee has been constantly lying about so much shit, and there's been stuff like about her Botox and facial cosmetic stuff that she's gone through. Like, she has been really seclusive and secret about that.
It is over 6 months.
I mean, who cares?
We're going to move on to some criticisms that Freelee has made in her latest video, calling into question Elise's vegan timeline. When exactly did you eat animal products for the first time?
Okay, so the first time that I had anything that wasn't vegan was early September.
So just so that we are 100% crystal clear, any animal products before the September eggs?
It's like
zero.
Absolutely not.
So there you go.
Everyone's so autistic. Just who
So
cares?
there you go. He's saying it like we should
How do we know you're not lying now? Who cares?
suddenly believe
Fuck.
everything she says. How do we even know that's the truth? How can we believe
How do we
her
know?
when she lies
How can we
compulsively?
tell?
We can't.
How do we know the exact date she took a shit?
Can't.
Yeah, it definitely didn't feel great to lie. I am definitely not
Well, that's
a
her
person
problem. I
Is
don't
now
care.
encouraging her audience to hurt animals and hurt themselves by lying.
Oh shit, imagine that. She's encouraging her audience freely to look at their body and push these bullshit ethics aside, okay, from fantasy land. Because I admit, it's a nice dream, you know, like a utopia, very similar to how socialists like to envision a world where everyone is equal and there's no differences between people. Unfortunately, the world doesn't work like that, and we need animals to thrive and live. So, what she has been saying, Elise, is that she has been feeling better on a keto/carnivore diet. And now, it might be a bit too short to say now, but she's just trying to raise awareness for some of her viewers, because there are people out there who are confused.
And saying how amazing she feels on her new cruel and dangerous diet.
Oh, fuck's sake. I just don't know what to say. Like, whatever.
I literally went from suffering to thriving.
Freelee, just constant
so
emotional
good.
arguments.
My digestion is absolutely flawless, and I am feeling the absolute healthiest and most vibrant and good that I have in my entire life.
And I know for sure that my body is designed to eat a raw vegan diet. I feel so alive and so positive and so happy and so focused.
Elise goes on to lie.
Okay, this shit from vegans, like they're getting paid, like that whole money transition slide there. Like I'm assuming Freelee's referring to Elise being paid to promote a carnivore diet. It's like there's no one there sitting there with from the meat or dairy industry with steaks saying, hey, I'll give you steaks and money for free so you can promote the diet. It doesn't work like that. That's expensive. There's no conspiracy theory going on, okay? She just felt shit on the diet. That's why there's so many ex-vegans. You just have to go look at someone like Sverich, who's interviewed all these ex-vegans. Are they all being paid now by the meat and dairy industry?
And throughout the interview, the whole time she is being smug and childish, and obviously gives no fucks for the animals that now have to suffer because she is weak, selfish.
How are they suffering? Like, you don't know Elise's diet freely. You're such a moron. Like, what if Elise is eating? She's going to a local farm where animals are getting butchered, and they're grown on free range organic farms, and they're not coming from slaughterhouses and all that stuff. How do you know that freely? And how is that cruel? Because most of the slaughter practices are very quick, and an animal does not feel that much pain. So I don't know what you're talking about. And yeah, let's just keep watching this shit.
And uneducated.
So really, when you said 3 months, it was more like 5 months, and this is just one of those things that happens because
I didn't feel like it was.
Let me help you out there, Elise. You didn't share this ugly truth because you thought it was bad for your brand and bank account. The fact is, all that time, and probably longer, you pretended to be a vegan and take other vegans' money for your vegan products and retreats, which you then used to purchase brutalized animal bits and pieces, supporting
brutalized animal bits and pieces.
Exactly what a vegan fights against.
Okay, Freelee, how do you get your omega-3 without fish? How do you get your heme iron? How do you get your vitamin A? How do you get your vitamin D? Freelee, you fucking absolute retard. Do you take 20 pills a day? Is that more natural than just fucking eating an animal that probably has a lifespan of 2-3 years?
This is the lowest of the low.
Such a fucking idiot, I swear to God. And the whole reason Freelee is popular is because she appeals on this emotional basis, and she just targets people through emotions.
Think actual vegans would have contributed their money if they knew that? Of course not. You exploited a movement and people dedicated to animal liberation.
Yeah, liberation. You take them off the farm and you put them in a fucking farmhouse where they just walk around in circles for the rest of life until they die.
Disgusting.
Wow, you really liberated.
So misalignment charge.
How about you liberate fucking children who are getting aborted? Because this is the whole thing. If you're pro life or pro choice, it doesn't matter. But the thing is, if you're a vegan, you have to be logically consistent here, and a lot of vegans never are, and they'll be pro-abortion, but it doesn't make sense because if we're animals, and the whole vegan movement is centered around, lowering suffering for animals as much as possible, why are abortions being openly allowed and vegans aren't protesting? You might say, oh, because it's a fetus, it hasn't been development, or whatever. Okay, but let's talk about like the parts of the US where you can abort a baby right after it's born. Why aren't vegans going there and protesting? Because that's a life form. That's a sentient being that's being aborted after 9 months.
Charges people up to a ridiculous $5,000.
They care more about a fucking chicken that lives a few years in a small little pen.
For a 6-day retreat, so you too can learn how to misalign yourself. And even encouraging young women to take out bank loans to afford her retreats.
Yeah, and Freelee, you scam people with your fucking shitty ebooks, okay? You've made people anemic with your shitty ebooks. So
it's definitely raised important points.
Jeez,
you can pause to read.
Too long.
And she's paying so many of her besties to harass others with these messages promoting her page.
Give a shit about this female drama stuff.
And her hubby are scumbag hunters, who she moved in with when she was supposed.
How dare he hunts his food and he doesn't get his food from a fucking slaughterhouse where animals are quote unquote tortured. Like, Jesus, like, does nothing please you, Freelee? Like, if someone's going out and hunting their own meat, surely that's a much better decision to make than getting your meat from a slaughterhouse.
Plant-based.
Apparently not. You
Seen
can't
here
please
even
Freelee.
going on a hunt with them in September. Hey, Elise, how do you feel about hunters again?
Thoughts on hunters? Yeah, it's just totally not necessary. Like, there are so many other ways that you can get your food. So why would you kill an animal with your own hands?
Because they can, and it's more natural, and we've evolved through millions of years of doing so.
Like, why would you do that? There's just so many other, like, hobbies to have as well.
So, moving on. As part of her rebrand, Elise has done a complete 180 from being a natural minimalist girl.
So when you're lacking...
Yeah, because she started becoming sick on your fucking shitty diet. And she said, you know what? Fuck the ethics because it's getting me nowhere. And actually, it's getting me somewhere. It's getting me to a fucking grave.
Meaningful relationships in your life, you're going to be a lot more likely to desire other things. You're going...
It's free, and it works better. Oh, but you can't sell the sun to your viewers now, can you, Elise?
Not everyone can absorb vitamin D from the sun at the same rate. And it differs on... it differs between people. So, again, you need animal products, and you need a mix of that and the sun,
So Elise claims to have been consuming a carnivore keto diet for the past 3 months.
I have been consuming more of a ketogenic/carnivore diet.
We're not made to eat dead animals.
And she even seems to be rubbing it in the face of vegans as she drinks raw cow's milk and eats bison for breakfast. She talks about now eating instinctively.
Raw cow's milk, one of the most nutritional, highest nourishing forms of milk there is out there. And you can just look at indigenous groups of people who consumed large amounts of raw milk. They had some of the best dental, some of the best teeth out of all the people throughout history. And I believe the Swiss as well, they were consuming large amounts of raw milk. So, I mean, now raw milk is basically banned for just general sales in supermarkets. And people are less have worse dental health than before. So yeah, I don't know, Freely. Like, what the fuck? What's the point you're trying to make here?
Intuitively, but somehow I can't see 4'10" Elise instinctively
There's
taking
more
down
nutrition in a cup of raw cow's milk than there is in a fucking cup of blended up kale and fruit.
a 6'6" bison for breakfast. Can you? Annalise, I thought you were never going back to eating animals.
Is there any non-vegan food that
Oh,
you miss a
well,
lot?
fucking hell. Like, I said I was going to be an astronaut when I was a kid, and now look at me.
I would never.
Stop bringing up the past, Freely, as if this is some type of argument against her.
Fucking true. So, hang on, Elise. I really need to understand this. Did you also...
What is with this shit? Like, every vegan does this to ex-vegans. They bring up the past. Like, they've had bad experiences on the vegan diet. They've changed. Honestly, what more do you want?
lie about caring about animals? What sort of person are you? Old Elise, who used to watch my videos, would make post after post about saving animals, saying things like...
Yeah, and then she left Fantasyland and found out that in the real world you need to consume animals.
Extremely sad right now. I haven't been this low in a while. I want to help save all of the animals being in this world. It was the old Elise. The new Elise has suddenly become religious, I would say under the advice of Ravana, and is now having strange prayer sessions over the dead animals she pays others to slaughter for hers and her dog's food.
Oh, imagine that. She's praying. Oh, how disgusting. Oh.
Sit. Lay down. Go.
Yeah, and these buzzwords, Freely, every single video she has, she always loves to go on about dead corpses, animal parts, animal bits, as if to like make it sound really disgusting, and it's just pure propaganda.
Boy.
It's the shit's not working anymore. It worked a few years ago when everyone started going vegan, but now everyone just sees through her bullshit.
Want to say your prayer? Dear universe, thank you for the opportunity to experience life today. Thank you for my mom who loves and supports me.
Okay.
What is your actual religion?
What is my religion? Oh gosh, my religion.
Now, like, Freely, are you gonna mock her based on what she believes, like her religious beliefs?
For. We all want to be treated with respect. And really, my religion.
Yeah, we treat animals with respect. I mean, you let them roam around, do their shit, eat grass, and then once they hit their age, you eat them. That's like, yeah, you don't fucking beat animals because you don't do that. But
is to just make that happen. Want love and health and happiness for each other and for the planet. Like, to me, that's not like utopia, something that we can never.
We've degenerated as a society to the point, to the point where we're so concerned about a fucking chicken's life.
Achieve. To me, I want to act every single.
And then if you bring up, like, surely a human's life has more value than a fucking chicken. You get autistic retards like Vegan Gains who bring up these extreme retarded examples of like, oh, but if a human has the capacity of a chicken, surely we should be able to kill that human. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Just
in a way
relax.
that can help us move closer to that. So that's my religion, is that if we just act out of love and kindness, then we can make that earth
be nourished for the reasons she failed a plant-based lifestyle. Number 1, afraid to stand out among the crowd. Elise is a follower, not a leader.
Okay. Why
so
she
just follows whoever she is around and whatever they are doing. And this is exactly what she did when she moved in with her bestie and her husband, who are hunters. Number 6, not eating enough food in general.
Okay, not eating enough food. Not eating enough food, boys. Not eating enough food. Look at this fucking skeleton bitch. Probably smells like fucking spit and shit. Look at that. Fuck, not eating enough food. What, not eating enough carbs? Like, she was fucking... The amount of carbs you eat on a vegan diet, that's why I quit this bullshit. I was constantly bloated with your shitty artificial diet. Fuck off.
Fuck about animals. Do not give up on them. They do.
Okay, Freely. Yeah, so she looks anemic and almost like she's anorexic. And apparently Elise was not eating enough food. Okay, Freelee, you were there. You knew what she was eating.
General.
You don't even interview her to talk about this stuff, but you just assume.
She was regularly undereating, especially in carbohydrates and fruit.
She was undereating in carbohydrates, boys. She was undereating in carbohydrates. Wow. Like, geez. What's the next step, Freelee? Should she get sugar and just like inject it right into her veins? Is that how you're supposed to get more carbs?
I'm sitting here right
Jesus
now with a big
Christ.
bowl of salad, lettuce, tahini, coconut aminos, apple cider vinegar, lime juice.
Yeah, it just proves my point. Look what she's eating. There's no nutrition in that.
I think that's it. No other veggies, just lettuce and all of those four dressing ingredients. I have this almost every single night.
Number 9, social pressures. All the rich kids in Hawaii started eating carcass again, as well as a new
Oh, did they really, Freelee? You know that, did they? Yeah, I'm sure they did.
boyfriend and her Colorado
Fuck
bestie.
me.
And because she has no
Freelee just speaks so much bullshit, and the reason I get so mad is because she doesn't have discussions with people, like the same thing that Doreen Ryder does as well, but Doreen Ryder's kind of dead now, but Freelee, the worrying thing about Freelee is like she's influencing all these young girls, and a lot of these female ex-vegans are talking about how they had issues with their period and stuff, and it's like Freelee is potentially like fucking up the next generation of girls that watch her video.
ethics she just followed.
I
based on
wanted to start
ethics and
consuming
emotions.
eggs was that I was hearing a lot
Not
of positive changes from friends like Drew
indigenous
and other
groups
people who were
and
changing
history
their
and
diet.
studies.
And number 10, the most important being, didn't fully make the connection.
What
She
connection?
was never actually vegan, but plant-based.
She was never actually vegan. Jesus Christ. Here we go. This is what they did to vegetable police. You weren't ever vegan. You weren't ever vegan. And I've had this, someone's told me this as well, like to me as well. You weren't ever vegan. Right. So when I was actively not eating animal products, and I felt really disturbed when I was seeing slaughterhouse footage. And I at the same time I was like, I just didn't want to see animals be harmed. I wasn't a vegan. Like, what the fuck is that?
As once you've made the connection,
This really just shows how much of the high horse vegans sit on, because they feel like this vegan status is this unattainable badge, golden badge that only the most loyal vegans can have.
never ever go back.
And once you have animal products, that's it. You were never part of this group.
For transitioning from vegetarian to vegan.
Start.
Yeah, anyway, so she plays over the same videos.
Girl butter is
like
factory
Freelee
farmed,
does.
Elise. But after all these years being vegan,
And she sounds so smug in her
you know
videos
the
that
grass-fed
she's, like, trying to
pasture-raised
make some
labeling is
point.
just a lie, right?
I've never, ever, ever been the person to research and research and research before doing something.
Oh, yeah, that's right. But you don't really give a shit, do you, Elise? You're just pretending to be ethical so you get less criticism from actual vegans. The truth is, it doesn't matter if it's labeled grass-fed. You are still stealing the milk from the enslaved mother cow and paying for her...
Yeah, and your greens are killing animals your grains are killing animals all the time through farming methods, through those big combine harvesters. A lot of animals actually die. Birds and mice and all that shit, and insects, they all die when you get your greens flown across the world to Chile freely, because I assume that's where you live, Chile or something.
baby to be stolen from her within a day of being born. This is truly disgusting, especially as a female to support this, and considering how many amazing cruelty-free plant butters there are.
Are you a female cow or something, Freelee? Is that the point you're trying to make there?
I really began to see the way that my body felt without dairy.
Or eggs in the frying pan? Holy shit. This is worse than I first thought.
yeah,
This
so I
obviously
think
doesn't give a shit about
she
the treatment
goes
of the
on
hens
about
or about the
how,
baby chicks being dangerous.
How eggs are apparently periods and you shouldn't
5
eat
cigarettes
them.
a day for...
And then this study that has been debunked countless amounts of times comparing eggs to cigarettes, which is just fucking insane. Like, I know so many old people in Europe who are family members, and they've consumed eggs and raw milk their whole life, and they're 80 something years old now without any health problems. So
15 years.
And lastly, let's look at the fact that eggs...
It's just the most bullshit thing I've heard in my whole life. Eggs compared to cigarettes. Okay.
As with human females...
And how do you even compare eggs to cigarettes? Because eggs are different. I mean, free-range eggs are different to caged eggs. Certain hens lay certain types of eggs. I mean, the yolk color's difference, the eggshell color difference. All these differences are not accounted for in these studies claiming that eggs are like cigarettes.
The egg is not always fertilized. Bullshit. Chickens don't hold their eggs inside like mammals do for 9 months. Instead, they eject them from the cloaca in a hard shell.
Oh, cloaca. Did you get that off Google?
Whether you like it or not, a female human period and the chicken egg you eat are both unfertilized reproductive cycles. And one major and pretty disgusting difference, though, is that the chicken's egg contains not only the unfertilized egg, but also the womb.
Oh, I imagine
yummy.
That.
Plate of cruelty for breakfast. Then plays this sweet music.
I think I'd rather eat an egg than be anemic and autistic like you. So let's just look at these comments. I'm probably on like 50 minutes now, but I can't believe she's letting Dick dictate her lifestyle. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I think Freelee's just her chat is just full of 30-year-old boomer single vegans and white knights. The guy doesn't even look like he lifts. Anabolic Amrath. Let's check this out.
Public service announcement. You can believe.
You don't look like you lift, bro. So yeah, that's Freelee's bullshit video. Sorry if this was a bit long, a bit ranty, but you know, I kind of enjoy, like, when I watch these videos by Freelee and all these retards, especially myself being ex-vegan. It really triggers me when they say all this dumb shit. So I always feel the need to go out and make some type of video about it and just give my thoughts on it. Hopefully to raise some awareness for people who are confused or on the edge. But yeah, thanks for watching.